Yeah. Ah. All right. Make sure my camera is straight. Here we go. All right. Where's that behind me? Oh, my water bottle. All right. That's a little distracting for me. All right. A little messy, but we'll be all right. We be all right. What's going on? What's going on, party people? This your man, Griff. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? While everybody slide on up in here. Hey, what's going on with you there, Jessica? All right, let me get on over here to my comment section. What's going on, my man? What's going on there, Shandy? Oh, I'm doing good. A little tired, because I drove over to the Eastern Shore today, and that was a trip. And then I messed around and got lost. GPS was taking me to a whole nother place. I don't know why, but I got lost today. But we got it done. Met up with the people, really, really cool people and stuff. Let's see here. Yeah. Turn that music down a little bit. But yeah, this is where I had to go today. All the way over here. Issue, I live way down here. I live way down here, and I had to go cross the bridge on up just past Cape Charles. And they paid me good to go over there. But still, it was a drive. It was about an hour's drive. And yeah. So I got over there, got done, and then came on back on this side and came home, kicked it with the wife for a little bit. She had baked some salmon, so ate dinner, and then went out and did my 6 o'clock appointment. So yeah. And not a whole lot of notaries will go over here. And now I'm not one to tell people how to price, but this is how I do it. All right, so all of this is the Eastern Shore of Virginia, as you see my mouse here. So typically, you're talking about round up in here, 200. Then they start having you to come up in this area here. You probably are talking about 300 or a little bit more. Sometimes up here, you're talking about 400 or so. And then when you talk about all the way, now they literally want you to come all the way over here to this thing called Chickatee Island. They got something with some kind of horses and stuff that like to run around over there and everything. Yeah, they real big on this here. Yeah, you see the picture they got. Yeah, they real big on the horses, lighthouse, all that kind of stuff. They got some like wild horses that are out there, and that right there up and back is about 2.5 hours. So, price accordingly, and then down here is a toll. You're talking about $22 in tolls round trip. So 16 to go up, and then they'll discount it to $6 coming back. So $22. So you have to price it that way. And when I talk to them, I let them know, I tell them those things. I say, hey, this is a 3-hour round trip or a 2-hour round trip. In that case, at Chickatee Island, you're talking about 5 hours. You're talking about your whole day gone. You can't have too much before, and you most definitely probably can't have anything after. And then if they want scans and all that, and you have to really be accurate, because if you don't do it right, that means you got to drive your hind parts back over there at your cost. So, and that happened to me one time, but the company still paid me because they know I do good work. And I messed around and missed one signature, and they paid me, I think, an extra $40 to go back over there and get it. So when you do stuff like that, you got to make sure you do it right. And you can't be fiddle faddling around playing and stuff like that. You gotta be focused on what you doing and everything, or you gonna be in some mess. So let me check out my comments here. I still have the what was that? The Raven scanner. That still works. My Raven scanner still works. So I still have the Raven scanner. And yeah, I saw your email and I forgot to hit you back up. And then I have my brother scanner. So I got my brother scanner. Any scanner, in my opinion, for its mobile, that can allow you to um email the documents out. Okay. Any scanner that allows you to email the documents, you good, or upload them to a Dropbox or Google or any kind of secure drive. That will be ideal. Because when I do my commercial loans, they want the documents emailed to them. So I plug in all the emails into my scanner, scan it, hit the button, and it emails it to everybody. So that's what in my opinion, that's what you want. Now, and I've always said at least 40 pages a minute scan, ideally 50. If it's any slower than that, you're gonna be wasting your time. Everything. You really, really will be wasting your time. What's going on, Wanda? Good to see you. What's going on, Notary Giant? All right, man. I got my fritter just for you, dog. This is from Wegmans. Me and the wife went to Wegmans to get some challah bread the other day, and they had the apple fritter. So I haven't had the chance to taste it. I did warm it up, and nice and soft, and it got big chunks. I like that. Got big chunks of apples. Mm-hmm. Not as good as Dunkin'. Not as good as Dunkin'. But it'll hold me down for a little bit. It'll hold me down. All right, from 904. Yep. Yeah, that's great. But I only went over there because they was willing to pay me. All right. They was willing to pay me. So yeah. And I had the time. All right. I had the time. Look at you, did a late night evening signing. Boy, you must be getting desperate out there. Mm-hmm. Yep, them toes are crazy over there. What are you talking about? No. They pay you enough. And you expect, for me, you gotta have things. Time and the dollars. And and if I have both of them, I'm good to go. Then they say, what's going on with you? The signing service took $4. For what? What they took $4 for? What they taking $4? What, you didn't scan back fast enough, or yeah, these signing services, they look to take money as quick as they can from you and everything. I'm new. This is why why would someone need copies? Yeah, I'm assigning they need copies because they want to have copies of the papers they're signing. They want to have copies of the papers they're signing. I mean, these are legal documents. Why shouldn't they have a copy of them? Now you say, well, they can just give them a digital copy. Okay, but if the company that's paying you say, hey, give them a physical copy, give them a physical copy. Now, I don't know if you're a signing agent. Are you a signing agent? Where you at? I know you say you're new at this, but when you say new, meaning 1 year, 2 days, 17 seconds, what's your background? Have you done anything? Dot, dot, dot. But there's nothing wrong with printing 2 copies and giving them one, even if it is a 200-page closing. You give it to them. What's going on, fingerprinting guru? Good to see you. My man Frank from Alabama. My man Caprentice, he out there tearing it up. It's time for you and I to say goodbye to all the flock. Yeah, yeah. Now I've been off the fritters for a while, so um this will probably be my last fritter for a while. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna still call this Fritter Friday, but that's what it is. Y'all can eat all the fritters you want, but I gotta back off of them. And it says I completed a Patriot Act. Huh? Was that Old Republic? If that was Old Republic, they got this thing where, and I'm gonna pull it up and show y'all. If that was Old Republic, yeah, if that was Old Republic, let me pull this document up so y'all can see. What the heck is that? Let me pull this document up so y'all can see. Um, yeah, I know, Wanda. Too much sugar. If I have time demand to make my own fritter, I would. I would. But was that Old Republic? Now, if you're doing something for Old Republic, they got this thing where please put NA in those columns. So basically, if you are using a second form of ID that has no issuance and expiration date, please put NA in those boxes. And that's even if it's grayed out. Yeah, even if it's grayed out, they want you to do that. That's what Old Republic wants you to do through Sinex. Okay, so so that's the thing. So Old Republic does that. And then what's also interesting here, it says get 2 forms of ID, but the Patriot Act that I had when I did this only wanted 1 form, but I still got 2 forms. So this is the crazy part, and it's weird because if you don't pay attention to these instructions, it'll get you. So it will get you. So I don't know if you was with Old Republic. You say I got see that sounds like Sinex with Old Republic. You know, either them or Unlimited Ink. One of the two. It's one of the two. Because and then sometimes the signing companies want things a certain way that the title company, oh, Service Link. Okay, well, Service Link didn't know they did that. Well, again, some of these signing companies, they want you to do things a certain way that may not necessarily be what the title company wants, but it's like we want it this way, just in case. We don't know if it's wrong. And it doesn't make sense because when you look at a Patriot Act and they got grayed out areas, that tells you there's no need to fill out information for that specific area. But for whatever reason, it's like there's this thing of there can't be any blanks. So now you got to look at who trained this signing company owner because a lot of there's a thing, and I told y'all there's this thing still. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. Hold on, let me see if I can safely pull this up for y'all. Um, Let me see. Where is it? All right. How I want to do this. I'm a copy. I can't pull it up the way I want. So let me copy and paste this real quick. And And so you can see these instructions, and this doesn't make a lick of sense at all. Okay. All right. I'm gonna zoom this in so we can all look at it. The borrowers must. This is the notice of right to cancel. The borrowers must also initial both dates on the notice of right to cancel, even if the dates are pre-printed and correct. They're signing the document, but you want them to still initial that. That is not even a requirement. That doesn't validate or invalidate the document if it's not done. I talked to title people, and they all told me, they said there's no need to do that, because if they sign it at the bottom, but somewhere along the line, some notary trainer has gone out telling everybody that they need to do this, and then it transfers down into the signing company owner, because they was a notary following that information, then turned around and transferred over into them being a signing company owner, and now they're saying this is that. But if you ask the title company where it's going, that they title company's like, well, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that came on SnapDocs. Yeah, that was on. Yeah, hmm yeah. But when I talk to them, they're saying somebody else wants them to do that. Now, now in this case, they're saying the title company, and I'm like, what does that prove? And I guess it's supposed to prove that they saw it. I'm like, all right, fine, they do it. But these are the kind of things that doesn't make sense. And this here is what can get a lot of notaries twisted, because you have one company that wants to the right to cancel, have them notarize. I mean, not notarize initially, and then another one says, "No, you ain't got to do that." So if you're not paying attention, and this is where a lot of people have a hard time with this business, this multitasking for various different companies. They want it this way, they want it that way, and notaries get frustrated because it's not the same across the board. Only thing that's the same, in my opinion, that's across the board is what we got to do, which is proper notarization. That's it. So when you have all of these different variables, why am I worried about taking a course that's going to teach me how to explain? And they could be teaching me something incorrect, because if I go having them initial the right to cancel when that company does not want it to be done, now I look like a fool. You see what I'm saying? So this is crazy. But yeah, that's some mess and a half. But I'm like, okay, fine, y'all want it. And I asked them, I said, what, when, because I've wanted to know, what is the legal requirement for that? What does that prove? Why is initial not, why not having an initial there invalidated? And they said it doesn't invalidate. But if you don't do it, then they don't want to pay you. If you don't do it, then they don't want to use you. And then they threaten the signing companies. Some of the title companies will threaten the signing companies that will take business away from you if you don't make the notaries do this. This is crazy. This is crazy. So I understand why some people out there are like, forget all of this. I'm gonna just go do a apostille. I'm gonna just go do general notary work. I get that. And if you can have that as a thing that you can do in your area, then go for it. If you don't, then you have to get into your happy place dealing with these folk and just get the job done and get paid. And that's where I'm at. I'm just like, get it done, get paid, keep it going. It's that simple. Because I know there's notaries out there who will crash and burn behind all of this, because they can't handle the constant back and forth. And they say, you know what, bump, I'm done. And then it's like, okay, you need a notary. You still got me out here. So That's what I've had to start doing. It says Service Link is very specific about the requirements. They have report cards. And see, even with that, they don't need to be putting no report cards on us. That's W-2 stuff. I don't care about no report cards. And I think that's part of the reason why I won't do any work with them, because I don't like that thing of report cards. I don't like that. I don't like that grading thing because I'm not your employee. So there's no grade you can give me. I'm either doing it right or I'm doing it wrong. If I do it wrong, I fix it and then we keep it going. If you don't want to use me anymore, then just say so. It's that simple. I don't need no A, B, C, D, or E. Heck, I didn't get no kind of grade when I was in a W-2. But they use that to, in my opinion, they use that as a ploy to make you, the notary, focus on what you should be doing. Well, you should be able to do that anyway. But when you got too much of wrong information in your head, it's easy to mess stuff up. But it's just another way of controlling people by dangling, by dangling. Ooh, you want me to give you A. You better do what we say, even if it's not legally right in your state. That's the concern I have. That is the concern I have. And you have to, and you are the business owner, so you got to sit down and ask yourself, okay, what are they asking me to do? And is it worth losing my commission? Because at the end of the day, if they're asking you to do something and it's not legally sound in your state, they're gonna be like, oh, well, you should have said something. But I told y'all, we don't have record of it. That's yeah. I refuse to be a part of the three-letter mark. Yeah. Yeah, I got one today for that home equity investment. I'm not when I looked at that particular program up, I don't trust it. I mean, I'm not there's too many red flags with that program to steal a homeowner's I won't say steal, but to acquire somebody's home unjustifiably. And if anybody has problems with reverse mortgages, you would have a problem with home equity investments or home equity agreements. You will have a problem with them because if you have a problem with reverse mortgages and you got the government backing the reverse mortgage and making sure that it's done correctly, there's no governmental agency, there's nobody who's verifying or making sure that home equity investments are being done in the best interest of the consumer, because it's actually not a mortgage product. It's just somebody giving you a loan and then you're signing papers saying, I agree to give you 35% of my equity at the end of this term period, as well as pay you back the money you lent me. So you lent me $60,000. I'm gonna give you back that 60 plus 30% of my equity. And there's no qualification, there's no loan qualifications, none of that. When you look into it, it's like, So I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of that. But then I also noticed something, and I had mentioned it to Caprinas today. I said, I'm noticing that some companies are now exclusively doing those kind of closings, home equity, home equity investment closings. I don't see them pushing out a whole lot of refinances or purchases or sales. Sort of interesting. They made a move from one that notary database to another, but the product that they are promoting is a questionable product. And remember what I told you, your orders are only as good as the client that the signing company has. The signing company has a client that has work. What client are you working with and what work do they have? This is just facts. This is not picking on anybody. The signing company has a client. That client is a title company. The title company has a client. What kind of work is that client giving to the title? That determines what work we get. even if you're working direct. All right. Whoo-wee. Been in your happy place for 22 years. I don't blame you. I had I have had from titles, and the best thing I did was continue to be pleasant in signing service, and then distance myself, and then pass on a couple of signings to get them to get the yeah, and then pass because we have that right. I agree 100%. It is W2 ish. Why are you grading me? If I mess up, tell me. If I'm fine and let if I'm fine and let me go about my business. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And now they call so we can continue moving forward. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing, So here's the biggest thing. You have to remember you are a business. Okay. We're gonna get to the title in a second. The number one thing you got to do is remember you are a business. And if you don't remember that you are a business, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. You got to remember what you are a business. You are not somebody's employee. That's just the bottom line. So I'm gonna play something. I want to play this here. What I got over here on my Instagram. I want to play this for you, and you'll get that. You'll get where I'm coming from. All right, where's my thing? Mute my mic. And if you can hear, you should be able to hear. Throw a quick one in the chat. A couple of people just throw a quick one in the chat. Let me know that you can hear.
Second, think about that question. Do you remember who you were before you were told who you are? For me, once I started going through this journey of self-knowledge and learning a little bit about myself and looking for inner peace, one of the things I realized is that there is a difference between a question and being questioned. I'm happy to respond to a question, but I don't entertain being questioned. Who are you is a question. Who do you think you are is being questioned. Both look the same, but the intent behind them is very different. They'll try to criticize you, but really what they're saying is, this is the world as we see it, and there's a hierarchy in the world, and you don't belong there. And so what happens is, if you don't have a true sense of who you are, you begin to answer the question based on who you think you should answer the question as. Until you answer the question of who you are, you will always feel inadequate for the room you are in, because every room that you will be in, you will look for a way to belong. And so what you will do is you will discount yourself, not recognizing that actually you've been called to be in that room for a reason. Try and be in the rooms with some of the smartest people in the world, or the luminaries of the world, or the most successful people in the world. And how do you stay yourself when you're in the company of people who, in the eyes of the world, have more than you? You can only stay yourself if you know who the self is. Otherwise, you code switch and you become whoever you need to be so that you belong in that room. The problem, though, with becoming who you need to be in the room is you leave the room no better than you found it. So if you don't bring your authentic self, your unique self, your true self, then why were you in the room in the first place? If there are 5 people in the room and you're invited as the 6th and you come in number 6 looking exactly like number 5, the room could have stayed with 5. You are just a waste of space. So your true real estate then in that room is in the authenticity of who you are. Pause for a second.
Thoughts? Let's be real. Is that any of you? Now, this goes into the question about how to handle a slowdown in business. When you understand who you are and you're operating and living your life as based off of who you know you are, you can handle a slowdown in business because you'll make the necessary adjustments. But when you're trying to run your business like everybody has told you you should run it, you get scared. You get really, really nervous, and you start shifting, and you start running to this and running to that, running from stuff. You start being embarrassed to tell somebody you're a notary. You start taking your magnets off your car. You leave the house and to go to your day job, and you don't even take your notary bag with you. You don't even you start changing the hours on your Google My Business page to be less and less and less because you're trying to run your business based off of what somebody told you you should be and not who you really are. Everything I do, I'm doing it because of who I know I am. I hear what those other folks say, them TMCs, but I don't follow none of them because what they say that I should, who they say I should be, doesn't fit with who I know I am. I know that I can do this business, but I don't have to do it the way they said it. Because guess what? They did it their way, so why can't I do it my way? And that's all we're faced with is a group of people who have done the business a particular way. They've learned how to monetize it, and now they're telling everybody to do the same. And that's why you get so many people who are angry when you do an order for less than $1 amount that they think you should, because they're now afraid that you're going to force them to have to adjust who they are. And then here's the thing: there's some human beings who like being this fake self. They like being this pretend person. And when you be your authentic self and you show them and you show other people how you can go out here and make money at $1 amount that's less than what they say you're supposed to get, it challenges everything that they say they are. It makes people look at them like, well, if Griff can do it, if Chantel can do it, if Earl can do it, then why can't you? And let's just be real. When one man is doing something that he's supposed to be doing and he's finding a way to make it work, and that man and that other guy's wife start looking at him like, Sherelle's husband out here doing it. What's your problem? See, people don't want you to be your authentic self, because when you are your authentic self, it shines a spotlight on them, especially those who are faking. And just imagine you go into a room, as he said, and then you're number 6, but guess what? 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all trying to be phony and clones of number 1, and nobody's authentic. And you come in there and be your authentic self. That's how you get moved up. That's how you get opportunities. Because the people who are truly in charge, they're looking for somebody who can be authentic, who can be truthful, who can sit there and look them in the eye and not lie to them and tell them the truth about what's going on and not be afraid. Where are you at with this here? So in order to deal with a slowing down business market, your business, slow down in your business, you first got to sit here and say, okay, let me look at who I am. Because let's just say you're the type of person who's very nervous, who's very iffy, jittery, got a lot of self-doubt. Okay, that's who you are. Now you got to start doing things to mitigate that. If you're a person who has a lot of high confidence, a lot of self-awareness, now you got to sit there and avoid people who don't have that. And you got to get out there and do it anyway. And when people sit there and say, man, you still get up and you go to work and take your notary bag? Yes, I do. Man, I ain't carrying that thing with me. Man, I ain't getting no business. I ain't heard nothing in 3 weeks. Well, I'm carrying mine. What's that old song? We walk by faith and not by sight. That's what I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm not walking by what I see you doing. I'm walking by faith. I'm walking because I already believe that every single day that I get up and I go out this house, even when I don't have notary closings to do, my bag is with me. Because at any point in time, somebody can call me. At any point in time, I could get a phone call that says, hey, we need you to go over to such and such place. They already have the documents. We need a notary. No problem. I'll be there in 10 minutes. No problem. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I got my stuff with me. I don't have to go and get ready because I'm already ready. Is that you? So to deal with a slowdown in business, one, you got to be aware of the fact that it can be slow or get slow. If you're in this la la land of everything is going to be woo, and there's never going to be a slowdown, you'll never be prepared for it. You will never be prepared for the slowdown. You will never recognize it because you're not even looking for it. And when you see that there's a potential that there could be a slowdown, when the opportunity for you to stack up some work, take a few extra orders, work a little extra hours, you do that. We do it in our W-2. After working at a place for a certain amount of time, you realize that during the summertime, when everybody's on vacation, that's the best time for you to get you some extra hours so you can have you some more money for the holiday season. So once you start paying attention to the flow of real estate, okay, I know I better start doing this. I better start trimming that. I better start, and then you can move. Okay, well, things are getting slow here. Okay, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of refinance loan applications, but I am seeing reverse mortgage. Well, I better get ready for that. I got 3 closings tomorrow. They're all hybrids. They're all HELOCs coming from the same company, and they're paying a C note apiece. I noticed the trend. I'm like, okay, let me take these, and they don't require scan backs. I see the pattern. I'm like, okay, I'm on it. I'm on it. That's what you have to do. So to deal with a slowdown, you have to first understand and recognize and admit things can get slow. And then you got to start putting together a plan. And the moment you realize that there's something in your personality that prohibits you from being able to be active in initiating a plan, you start doubting yourself, you start making excuses, you start being fearful. Now you either got to get with somebody who you can trust that can help pull you out of it, or you better start self-helping yourself and figure a way out. That's what you got to do. And then you have to also be willing to do the thing that you said and bragged about online that you would never do. Well, I'll never do a loan application. I'll never do reverse mortgages. Okay, all of a sudden you notice there's a whole lot of notification for reverse mortgages. So your money is draining out. You see things are slowing up over here, but they're increasing over here. Common sense would say, go do some work over here. And the thing is, it's not like it's doing anything hurtful or harmful to you. It's a way for you to get money. Well, there's so many pages in those reverse mortgages. So what? I'd rather play with 300 pages of a reverse mortgage than to be sitting here making no money. It's that simple. Do I want to sit there and chill tomorrow? Yeah. But because things have been slow, I'm going to take those 3 orders. Do you think I wanted to drive an hour one way and pay $22 in tolls? But they paid me a fee that I asked for. And I need the money. It's that simple. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I need the money. I need the money because we know how these people pay. They're a little slow in paying. So if I'm having a if this month is too slow, it's going to affect me come August. Because late July, August is when a lot of that money starts popping in. So if I play around and it's already slow and then I neglect to go and take orders when I see the potential of what's going on, I'll be a fool. So when you see that it's slowing or you get an inkling that it might slow, you got to start making adjustments. And then the more important thing to me is that you cannot allow yourself to panic. Did panic come? Yeah, panic came. Panic was like, yo, man, hey. I said, no. Go on somewhere. Go on. I see you there, panic. I see you. But I'm not going to panic. You can do that by yourself. I'm going to keep working. And I'm going to keep believing. And I'm going to keep standing firm. And I recognize where I'm at. I see I recognize what I'm not getting, but I'm not going to panic. And then next thing I know, another order comes in, another order comes in. I had to give up an order today, but then I get 3 for tomorrow. When you don't panic and when you have confidence in who you are, you can deal with this kind of stuff. But because you came in this business trying to be like those TMCs, trying to be what they want you to be, thinking that, oh, I'll just plug and play into who they are and what they're doing, and that'll make me survive. No, it will not. You can't have a marriage like everybody else's. You can't raise your kids like everybody else. You can't go to work like everybody else. You can't go and interview for a job like everybody else. So why are you trying to run your notary business like everybody else? That doesn't make a lick of sense. It really, really, really doesn't make a lick of sense. So give me some of your questions, some of your concerns, some of whatever. Let me see. Let me look in this chat here. Have you done work with? I've seen them, but I don't. They're a little too demanding for me. They're a little too demanding for me. And I think they're on Notary Dash, wanting you to go out and take pictures and stuff like that. And I think they were sitting up there like, oh, I gotta prove to them that I know how to take the pictures. And I'm like, I got a daggone S25. I don't need to prove nothing to y'all. And I don't mess with that. I don't do that. I receive job from them, but after reviewing several platforms, they have a really negative review for non-payment additional work with no. Yeah, I just didn't get a good feeling for them. I just didn't get it. Yeah, yeah. And see, that's yeah. I love companies that pay on time and you don't have to have. Yeah, the bulk of my work is coming from signing order and signing order, signature closes, snap docs. So all these people that talk negative about SnapDocs, oh, SnapDocs is this bad, SnapDocs is that. I have not had any problem with SnapDocs. This people pay all of that. Notary Dash, I get stuff from every now and then. Stuff. So, what are some of the ways that you're dealing with the slowdown, or are you even seeing a slowdown? So, if you're seeing a slowdown in your area, just type a S in the chat, and then tell me how you looking to deal with it, or are you struggling dealing with it? Are you, because some people, like, I see the slowdown, but I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do. And that's why I had to go drive an hour. I recognize it, and I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do, or this is what I got to do. Because this is my business. I'm not in business. I never decided to do the notary business because of anyone else but for me. So if I see that it will be advantageous for me, and I'm trying to find something here to show y'all. I think y'all will like this. Let me email this to myself. And you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for me. Can they have some ideas and things I can use? Yes. But once I see that it doesn't work, or I see, okay, it does work, but I can tweak it and I can make it better, I have the liberty to do that. Dealing with the slowdown, you have to be willing to step up and be a business owner and not fall back into W2ism. If you're going to be a business owner, then step your game up and be a business owner and do what business owners do. What do? They find a way. With the W2 people, they'll quit one job and go to another. So when people talk about, oh, I'm gonna do all these streams of income, the question is, when things get tight, when things don't go the way you thought they would go, it gets a little tough, it gets a little slow. Do you just go find another stream of income? Or do you figure out what the heck is going on and make it better? Which one do you do? That's the question. That is the question. And a lot of people prefer to just, I'm going to quit this and I'm going to go do something else. Okay, cool. They just uploaded my documents. Bet. That is excellent. My last set for tomorrow. So let me see if I can pull this up. I saw something out there in these notary streets, and I don't know what to make of it, y'all. Y'all tell me. I saw this trailer. Maybe they on the road now. I saw this. I think they're going mobile. TMC's, they got a trailer. Nah, I'm just joking, y'all. I made that. But the trailer is real. And then I just typed in the trainer, mentor, coach. But I was driving down the road and I saw that and I was like, oh man, TMC's. I like trainer. I said, oh my goodness. I thought about that. So I just sit there, I just played, took out whatever it was down there and then whatever it really meant, and then typed in that and stuff. But I was like, oh snap. They on the road. They really trying to get you. They really want your money. Traveling around like a circus, even though that's what a lot of them are. I know I just be cutting up. So let me go back to my so I've had access to rent a car. Okay, cool, good. Being a business owner is not for the weak. I had an issue with a courier arresting for an apostille. Yeah. What I'm finding out is that, and I know some people don't always, I mean, I'm not looking for everybody to agree with me, but I'm telling you, from the conversations that I've had with people, the issue for some of them is expectation. They expected this business to be a certain way based off of either just something in their own mind or what they heard others say. And when the reality of what this business really is reveals itself, they can't handle it. They cannot handle it. And that's what I had to learn. Once I saw the reality of this business and the way it's supposed to run or the way it does run, I had to then decide, what am I going to do? And I said, I got to find a way to work within this business, because I said, okay, I see how it is, but is it bad? It may not be fair. It may not be comfortable, but how do I work with it? How do I work within the system? I see, but the way to work within the system is that I got to first identify what I'm actually supposed to do. And when I identify what I'm actually supposed to do as a notary, then let me focus on that. And once I focused on that, everything else fell into place. But for a lot of people, they're trying to find a way to make what their TMC told them to do work when the reality of the business doesn't support what the TMC said. And that's the dilemma we're in. So another thing, number three, number three is when you're dealing with a slowdown in your business, is that you may have to get re-educated and you may have to divorce and move away from knowledge and information that was shared with you, whether free or paid, and get yourself re-educated in the proper things so that you can move forward. Because see, sometimes the slowdown in the business is really only because of the way you're running your business. If you're running your business wrong, you might tap out real quick and you don't have anything going down, it's like, okay, well, my business is slowed down. But are you doing your business the way it should be done for that industry? If you're not, you may burn out, you may tap out, you may cap out real quick. But if you realize the proper way to do your business for that industry, it could last a whole lot longer. And it might be slow, but it'll still be some revenue coming in. And then it'll pick back up. But if you're doing it incorrectly, you're doing it off of emotions, you're not doing it off of good business principles, your business will tap out real quick on you. And it'll be like, I've hit my max. Well, there's nothing more for me to do. Oh, real quick, y'all. How did y'all like that that YouTube baby short that I did, that little baby short that I did of myself? How did y'all like that? Did you like it, not like it? What was y'all thoughts on that? I'm serious. And don't, if you didn't like it, that's fine. Just tell me. But what did y'all think of it? I mean, that was cool to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a cool thing for me. I sat around and had to take a couple of tutorials and stuff to figure it. This is the game. They got you. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but once I got it down, I was like, all right, cool. So I liked it. Little baby Griff, little baby Uncle Griff. My wife thinks it's adorable and stuff, everything. So I had to spend a little bit of money to get the images right and all of that. But yeah, it was excellent. So I'm gonna have to do a separate video because I got to go back and pull some stuff up so I can show y'all what I did. It was a tutorial video that I found. I may be able to find it before I get off here. And I just went through and did it step by step of what they said, and then I modified it a little here and a little there, and it worked out great, So um it's interesting. And Chat GTP is one of the tools that I use because Chat GTP was the one that created the image, and you have to tell it what you want, and you can even upload a picture and say base it. What I'm telling you to create, base it off of this reference picture, and it takes it and it merges it to the best that it can, and boom, next thing you know, you're like, oh wow. So I mean, I told it everything from the shirt, from what to put on the shirt, the headset, making a podcast, all of that, and it knew exactly what to do. And it took a little while for it to generate it, and then it did, and then I put it into another program that actually did the audio. I mean, did the mouth part, and then I had to extract the audio out of the video and everything. So it was some work. It took me about 3 hours to get it all done to the point to where I said I like it. And I was like, this is cool. So when I get time, I may do another one and all of that. So I liked it. And I appreciate y'all feedback and stuff. But once I get everything down, I'll do a video and make sure I put everything out there, show you, so y'all can see. But I just followed this video step by step, and then I just expanded on it to fit what I wanted, what my vision was. So in dealing with a slowdown, and I know some of y'all probably, I thought Griff was going to tell us some other businesses to do. No, I can tell you, go do this and go do that and go do this part. No. You got to get this right in order to deal with any conflict or any kind of downturn in your business. And if you don't get that part right, you're going to struggle mightily. And what you think is a slowdown may not be a slowdown. You just might be at a point to where you're actually capped. But if you sit back and say, okay, I'm capped because the way I'm doing my business only allows me to go to this level. So I'm capped because I only want to work with title companies. But if I work with some signing companies, then my revenue can increase. I only want to work with signing companies, but there are some title companies that have reached out to me that I need to reach back out to them. So the way you're running your business is really the cause of the slowdown sometimes. That's just my opinion. I won't say that's the truth of the matter. That's my opinion, is that if you're running your business in such a way, in other words, if you are in an area that rains a lot and has a lot of wind and hail, selling convertibles may not be the smart thing to do. Being a car salesman to sell convertibles in where the hail and all of that stuff will rip right through it when it comes down, that's probably not the smart thing to do. So you got to look at how you're running your business, and is the way you're running your business, is the things that you're offering and all that, the things that you refuse to offer, is that also causing a problem? I ain't doing that. Okay, why? I just don't like it. Okay, got it. There's nothing evil about it. You just don't like doing it. But now things are sliding over here, and it's not working in your favor. Can that thing that you don't like produce some revenue for you to help you out until you get back to doing what you really want to do? Now you got to sometimes basically you got to swallow your pride. And if you're unwilling and unable to do that, then you're just going to be stuck. And then you're going to get caught up into some other scam, into some other mess, and it's just going to be downhill from there. And then by the time you realize the mistake you made, it's going to be too late. And you're going to be out of the game for so long that trying to get back in is a waste of time and money. So, any other thoughts, any other questions, any other concerns? I got to print my next set, and then I got to go to bed and everything, because I am tired. And I got to get up, take my son to work. He got to be there at 6. Then I got an 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock house inspection, 12 o'clock closing, 1 o'clock closing. So I got a busy day tomorrow and stuff. And then some house inspections and all that. Pick up my son from work. So I got a pretty busy day tomorrow. So I got to get me some rest. So any other questions, concerns, comments, observations? I know the way I delivered it might not have been, you thought I was going to say, start doing apostilles, start doing general notary. You can do all of that. Where your head at? That's the thing. That is the thing. All right. If there's nothing else, y'all have a good evening. I greatly appreciate y'all. And I'm going to do what I got to do. And I am done for the night. All right. Y'all have a good one. See you soon. And no more fritters for me. All right. I'll talk to y'all party people later. Peace.